The SCSRA Frye Disposal ARCA Series regular season concluded right before the holiday break. Now it's time for the playoffs. 5 races, 12 drivers, all with the same goal, to be the last man standing and go into the SCSRA history books as a champion. Round 1 starts tonight live from Darlington Raceway for Throwback Night. Good evening and Happy New Year to all of you at home. I am Joshua King with my co-host tonight, the 2-time SCSRA Dev Sports Cards Cup Series regular season champion and the reigning season champion, Jesse Whittington. Jesse, Happy New Year to you as well. It is finally time to get these playoffs going. Tell us a little bit about Darlington.
First of all, glad to be back. I hate these long breaks, but I'm so glad to be back. But man, Darlington, God bless, it's tricky. They built this track with the intention of running way down by the inside wall and built the banking on the outside to be for safety, and then all the drivers, of course, being race car drivers, figured, hey, it's faster up there, so let's do it. And here we are today with one of the most narrow tracks in NASCAR, one of the most narrow grooves you can imagine through 1 and 2, and lots of lane choices in 3 and 4, even with as narrow as the actual racing surface is.
Couldn't have said it better, man. Tell us a little bit about what you expect to see with that combination between the track and these drivers tonight, what you expect to see as far as the race goes.
Man, I went out there and did some test laps just to get a feel of what these drivers are going to be going through tonight. This car is extremely tight, meaning the nose does not want to turn. So it's hard to get the nose settled into the track and get it rotated the way that you want to. But after roughly 5 to 10 laps, the back end just all of a sudden wants to start snapping on you. So it's going to be very interesting to see how these drivers react to how quick the car changes. Do they dial it back a bunch whenever they get into the race, or are they going to be pushing it to its limits and maybe overstep that limit a little bit? It's going to be hard to tell, but it's going to be what I'm watching for tonight.
Appreciate that, Jesse, and I think we're going to talk about it more than just once tonight, but definitely one of those speedways that can be a little bit tricky to pass on. You mentioned how narrow it is, the fastest line being right up against that wall. Interested to see how it plays out here this evening. Let's take a quick look here at the race details. 115 laps will be the distance. The stage will be at lap 35, only one stage this evening, and of course one fast repair as always, just under a mile and a half rather. Man, that'd be a real short track. Just under a mile and a half in the distance. 108 degrees Fahrenheit for the temperature on track right now. 81 is the ambient temperature, and 11-mile-an-hour winds. Jesse, how do you think these winds, depending on that direction, may impact these cars?
I mean, depending on the direction, it can impact them big time. So if you have a tailwind, meaning going down the front stretch, meaning the wind is excuse me,
Jesse's choking,
meaning that you're going yeah, sorry, forgot to swallow my drink, I guess. But if you got a tailwind going down the front stretch, meaning the wind is at your back pushing you down the front stretch, that means you could be carrying a lot more speed than you want to entering turn 1, and you already want to enter low, kind of drift up towards the wall a little bit. That could cause some problems, but also at the same time, it's going to give you a lot more downforce entering turn 3 whenever you're entering the corner. So it all depends on the direction of the wind. So if you got a crosswind on either straightaway and entering the corner, it's going to make your car loose or tight depending on which way it's blowing. So 12-mile-an-hour winds is nothing to turn your head about.
Absolutely. It could definitely play a part and become an interesting point at some point during the race. You will see on your timing tower on the left side of your screen, folks, that there are drivers highlighted in the green background, or filler, if you will. And those are your playoff drivers. So in theory, assuming all 12 of them show up, you will be able to keep track and follow along with us at home at where your favorite playoff driver may be, or how that playoff race down the stretch is shaping up in every single race. And of course, Jesse and I are here to bring you all that as well. Let's take a look here at some of the drivers we have on the Speedway before we get with our first pre-race interview. This is the 54 Nicholas Walthorn in the Rogue Energy number 54 Chevy Camaro. Or Rowdy Energy, I apologize, Rogue Energy. There's too many energy drinks out there, Jesse.
You're not lying. I struggle with it every morning on my way to work, deciding what I want to drink.
Yeah, you could stand in front of those refrigerators for half an hour.
No joke.
Here is your quick time so far in the practice session, and of course it is throwback night, as I mentioned. This is the number 43 of Garrett Walden, and he is in the Pepsi Chevy Camaro tonight. Throwback to Mr. Jeff Gordon, I believe, there. And that's a slick-looking one. Here is
one right
Devin Zimmerman. Oh, yeah, one right behind him. We'll definitely get to him for sure.
Yeah.
And here's the 36 of Devin Zimmerman. He's going to be our pre-race interview for this evening. Let's pull up now real quick the playoff points coming in to race 1. Warren Keith leads the way. Matthew Fritz, your regular season champion, is in second. Brandon Anderson third. Michael Lepicki, Justin Parham, Jay Stinson, Vince Brent, and Garrett Walden all above the cut line coming into race 1. Of course, all very close. That can change in a heartbeat, especially after a race. So Sharon Hill, Kenneth Redinger, Ryan Hufford, and Devin Zimmerman, our interview coming up here, all below the cut line as it stands right now. But let's take that off your screen and get with the man in the 36, Garrett Walden, if we can find him. Or Garrett Walden, Devin Zimmerman. I'm all already. See, Jesse, 2 weeks off is not good for broadcasters, man. You kind of lose the edge.
It's okay. We'll get back in the flow here soon.
We're going to find it, man. We're going to find it sooner than later. Now, welcome to the broadcast booth, Devin Zimmerman. Joshua up in the booth. How are you this evening?
How's it going?
Going well, man. Wanted to talk to you. You come in to tonight, 12th. You squeaked into the playoffs there, but hey, it doesn't matter how you make it as long as you make it. And as I just mentioned, everyone at home, things can change in a hurry. So, Devin, coming into Darlington, so far so good. Second quick in the practice session. What do you look for tonight for yourself, and what's the end goal leaving this place at the end of the night?
Survival. This I don't know how I'm second right now, I'll be honest. This is not one of my good tracks. I said it many times, I think this track should be a parking lot. Be better served as a parking lot. I just don't like it. So, but no, it's all about survival here. It's really narrow, hard to pass, kind of have to really pick your points, and in 1 and 2 you can't run side by side at all, otherwise somebody's going to wreck. So it's just really hard to get around here, and you're driving the track more than you are racing everybody else. So just getting through with a clean car is going to be the goal. I think if I can do that, I can come out of here with some decent points and kind of get off the bubble going to another kind of wild card race in Talladega. So yeah, just keep it clean and try not to get involved in anybody else's mess.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned it perfectly. We go to Talladega next week. Everyone that watches any sort of racing, I think knows Talladega is always a wild card. Does it add any extra pressure coming into tonight, knowing what follows next week for the last race of round 1? Or is it kind of just business as usual, take care of business tonight, and then try to put yourself in a position to finish well next week?
Not really. Best thing to do, and kind of what I got a mindset is just take it one at a time, one race at a time. So I mean, yeah, Talladega's next week, but I'm more worried about this one first, and then we'll worry about the other one. So um, pretty much, I think if I can just execute on my end, don't speed in the pit road here. If we have a green flag run, getting to pit road is very tricky. So um, I can eliminate the self mistakes. I think I should put myself in a very good spot going to Dega and not have to push as hard at Talladega. So that'll be really nice because my super speedway strategy that I normally do is not very conducive to getting a lot of like stage points and things like that to move on. So yeah, we'll just take this one, see what happens. If something does happen, unfortunately, which it can, racing's not predicted. So, um, we'll go to Dega and do what we have to do and try and move on. But yeah, just take it one at a time.
Right on, man. Sounds good. Appreciate you joining us tonight. Before we let you get back to business, anyone you'd like to thank or shout out this evening?
Yeah, shout out to everybody watching. I appreciate everybody that tunes into the broadcast. Shout out to my teammates, Tank Racing. We got Greg Biffle schemes on the car. We've had them all season. Uh, un- Unknowingly, I just really like this paint scheme. So, and we kind of like to do the F1 thing where we all have the same scheme and just different colors. Um, but yeah, unknowingly we've been basically tributing Greg Biffle all season, and after his unfortunate passing, it's really interesting that we were doing it this season, but you know thinking about his family and all that stuff, especially during the holidays. But yeah, so shout out to the fans, shout out to you guys in the booth. Hopefully we put on a good show for everybody.
Right on, man. Thanks again for joining us, Devin. Get back at it, and we'll see you on track here shortly.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Once again, folks, that was the driver in the number 36 out of Roxborough, North Carolina, Devin Zimmerman. And well said words there. Rest in peace, Greg Biffle. Jesse, I don't know about you, man, but if I was the driver and I was coming into this race, I don't necessarily think I'd be more nervous about what's to come, kind of to Devin's point, unless at the end of this race I have a night that I'm not proud of. Then it would kind of add on to the nerves there as far as going into Dega next week not being in the best position that I feel like I could have been.
Yeah, I mean, if you tilt your head and squint your eyes, this round is in its entirety essentially a wild card, because like Devin was saying, you never know what's going to happen here. It's a tough track. A lot of things that happen at this track are simply accidents because of how tight it is. Like he said, you really can't race in turn 1 and 2 without making contact. So, it's an extremely pressure-filled round in terms of you need a good night tonight and you need a good night next week, and you never know what's going to happen.
100%. You never know. You just got to perform, control what you can control, and put yourself in a good position leaving this place to maybe even afford to take a gamble or two next week. But let's take a quick look here at the team points, and we're not going to focus a whole ton on this evening, but I did want to bring it up and show everyone where the teams are at coming into tonight. Royalty Motorsports 99 points ahead of Beer Money Racing, starting to pull away just a little bit. Tank Racing, Venom Racing, Neon Racing round out your top 5, and then Hufford Racing there at a disadvantage. They have performed well, but they are a very small team. That is why there's those drastic points differences from that 5th place to 6th place team in the team championship. Let's start looking at some more of these guys here. Lauren Vincent is on your screen in the 07 Jack Daniels Chevy Camaro. That's a nice throwback. And Travis Bennett, we just looked at him, but we were talking. So here's the 01 Exide Ford Mustang of Travis Bennett. That, I believe, I'm trying to think back of who drove this car.
Is that a Jeff Burton one?
Jeff Burton, yes, thank you. I was thinking Ward Burton. But, yeah, hey, close enough. We looked at the 54.
At least you kept it in the family.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I was close. We looked at the 54. Sean Hill is out there. He's running the same paint as he makes contact with the 83 of Ryan Hufford. Another playoff driver there.
New sponsor on the hood, by the way.
Of Hufford?
No, Hill.
Sean. Oh, Sean Hill. Live V2.
I can't tell who it is.
Yeah. I think it's a GNC type brand. You know, he's a personal trainer and into all that stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get a chance to talk to Sean at some point tonight. Here's Warren Kyle Keith in the Red Bull number 9 Ford Mustang. Your points leader, but not your regular season champion.
Casey Kane throwback there.
Yep, Casey Kane throwback. Here's Matt Baines in his standard Royalty Motorsports and Royalty Racing Network number 72. Michael Lepicki with the Greg Biffle tribute paint that they've been running all season, as Devin alluded to. Let's check out Chase Greer. Oh yeah, here we go. This is my favorite one. Days of Thunder, City Chevrolet number 40. Chase Greer as he goes for a little ride there. Who else we got? Chucky Balance is out there with a new sponsor on the hood and the quarter panels of the 40, or 41 rather. I can read. Here's your regular season champion with another Jeff Gordon throwback paint. I always love when Matthew brings this one out. This is the 67 of Matthew Fritz. I really like that paint.
It's clean, that's for sure.
Definitely is. We have.
I don't know if he does his own paints, but it's very clean. Whoever did it.
Yeah, I think he does because, or yeah, maybe not. It is custom for him. It's not a trading paints type deal, but I think that whole team has someone that does all their paints. I could be wrong, but we have one more interview we want to get to as we close in on 5 minutes to go here in the practice. And Jesse, I'm going to let you take this one because you have a bit of a fun fact, and you can just talk to Vince a little bit. Let's get him on in here if I can find Vince up there in Beer Money Racing. Vince Brent, welcome to the broadcast booth. Joshua and Jesse with you. How you doing?
Talking to me?
Talking to you, buddy.
Oh man of the hour.
Well, hey, Vince, I got a quick thing for you. I blew Josh's mind earlier whenever I told him about your paint and that you did this paint on your phone. Do you care to elaborate a little bit on that for us?
Yeah, so Trading Paints, man, shout out to them. They have a great editing app, and just I don't know how to explain it other than just I download the logos and place them like they need to be.
Yeah, it's just it blew our minds because of the amount of detail that you have in this thing, and really turned out great, especially knowing that fact.
Oh, for sure. I appreciate that. I was afraid that the details wouldn't exactly show up because it did come from a phone, and kind of had to play with some of the decals and stuff to enhance them a little bit. And still didn't come out exactly like I wanted to, but I appreciate it. I think it does look fairly nice, though.
Yeah, man. Well, away from the paint scheme, man, you going into tonight. A little bit of disappointment last week whenever we were talking, away from the racing, or not last week, 2 weeks ago. You were looking at hoping to try to close in and see if you could get that regular season title, and just wasn't able to make it work out the way that you wanted. But you're coming into tonight, your first playoff appearance. This is only your second and a half league season period. So, what's your mindset going into your first playoff series or playoff contention going into this season? What's your mindset tonight?
I don't want to correct you because it makes me sound really arrogant, but this is actually my second playoff appearance. I actually made it I made it last year.
Oh yeah, you did. I'm very sorry about that.
No, you're totally fine. Yeah, I missed the championship round by 5 points, which was a penalty I had in the playoffs, so that was a bummer. But that's beyond the pay. I get what you're saying. Mindset is just same as usual. Just keep the nose clean and try to be there at the end. As we've seen this season, especially, I don't know. It just seems like survival of the fittest. Like, it don't matter how good you can be. I've seen some guys that dominated early and, unfortunately had circumstances that was beyond their control and wasn't there at the end. So mindset is just to take it nice and steady and be there at the end, because being there at the end is what scores the points, and scoring the points is what advances you on to the next round. So that's the goal and the mindset.
Okay, well, with that said, I do apologize. I completely forgot you didn't. For some reason in my head, I know you joined a little late last season, but I forgot that you did make it, so that's on me. But
that was a little help from you too. I can't believe you forgot that, because you coached me well.
Yeah.
Well, going into this season's playoffs, the first round is Darlington, Talladega. So where's your headspace? You're right there on the cut line. You're 1 point above 2 points above the cut line with your 2 stage wins. Is in your head, is it win or bust tonight, or are you just hoping for some consistency from tonight to next week?
Selfishly, it's win or bust, because, man, it'd be so awesome to win one of these things. I feel like I've been so close so many times. So just to be able to get a win, playoff or not, just, gosh, I want to win finally. But I think putting that aside, I need to just worry about consistency, because you don't know what other people are going to run into. They could run into problems, and being a deficit and just being consistent can set me up well for Talladega next week, which is, we all know, luck of the draw. So if I can score as much points tonight, just being consistent, if I have to, not push as hard, knowing like, hey, maybe I might not get the win, let's just settle for a third or fourth here. Let's get the points while we can, instead of pushing it and maybe messing up and finishing 17th, 18th. I'd rather just play it a little safe, but at the same time, I don't know, once I get behind the wheel and we get going, if I do see a win in sight, I'm not sure how much I can hold back once it's time going. It's easy to talk a big game right now before the race, but we all know as competitors, when a win is close, it's hard not to go for it.
Exactly.
For sure,
well,
man. Sorry to step on you there, Vince. I don't want to cut you short, but we're under 10 seconds to go before you got to go qualifying. Appreciate you joining us, and best of luck this evening.
All right, man. Appreciate you guys.
Yes, sir. Once again, folks, that was Vince Brent. Made that car on his phone. That is remarkable. We're going to get ready to go qualifying here as you see the checkered flag wave on the timing tower. And as always, if you're new to the program, you'll be able to follow along with us, and you'll see the miles per hour right above that series sponsor box in the bottom right corner. And you'll see the lap times for both lap 1 and 2 right above that Frye Disposal logo. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Kevin, what's up? Oak Ridge Fire, let's go. Some of my fire buddies coming in. Joe Gonzalez, Lars, Noah, Jesse, you were in there earlier popping in. Alicia, always the first one in chat. Let's go trackside now. Take a look at some of these guys already on the speedway. Here's our pre-race interview. That's the number 36 of Devin Zimmerman. As the sun begins to drop here at Darlington, we got 2 qualifying laps to get into the books. Here's the 83 Wolf Toyota Camry of Ryan Hufford. Chucky Balance is out there. We've already seen all these guys. There's the 01 of Travis Bennett. Here's Kenneth Redinger in the mellow yellow, number 99. Haven't seen him just yet. Here's the number 19 of Justin Parham. No one has taken a lap yet. Devin Zimmerman first on the board to put in a lap time, 29.375. Matt Bayens to the top of the board on lap 1. Chase Greer quickly beating out him. A lot of times coming in quickly here, 29.203 for Greer. Justin Parham goes 29.169. Jay Stinson now to the top of the board. Everyone's faster than the other. 29.084 for Stinson in the Frye Disposal 31. Of course, he's in the Wrangler 31, the Dale Earnhardt throwback tonight. Love that paint job. Matt Bayens on lap 2. Good lap, 29.099. Chase Greer, quick time out at 9. 29.049 for Chase Greer on lap 2. He goes back to the top. Ryan Hufford looking to improve on lap 2. Jay Stinson now in the Wrangler ride goes 29.040 on lap 2. Travis Bennett in the X-Side ride. Travis Bennett to the top now, 28.930. First guy to hit in the 28s. Will that be a sign of things to come here in qualifying? Still plenty of guys left. 25 cars set to grid tonight. Kenneth Redinger goes 5th quick on lap 2. Holden Wheeler, newcomer to the series, teammates with Sean Hill. 29.160 on lap 1. 7th quick for the 09. A lot of times coming in now. Go ahead. Go
one
ahead,
quick
Jesse.
point. Every single driver that has taken a lap except for one, and I'm not sure if he had some issues, every single driver is quicker than the quickest lap turn period in practice at this point.
That is a good point to make. Holden Wheeler actually did really well. 28.938 for Wheeler on lap 2. Ryan Gomes in the John Deere 55 tonight. He was quicker on lap 1. First time we've seen that. Garrett Walden, lap 2. 29.016. Just missed out on the 28s. Sean Hill coming around for lap 2 for himself. 29.265 on lap 1. He was 15th quick. He'll look to improve. Although it looks like he's just calling it. 29.149. 9th quick on lap 2 for Sharn. Squeezes into the top 10. Here's Vince Brent, 29.187. Got him 12th quick right now on lap 1 as he crosses the line. Does he improve? He does. 9th quick. He'll take over 9th from Sean Hill, 29.132. Here's Phil Ellis Jr. He just finished. He's 16th quick. Brandon Anderson's 18th quick. Warren Kyle Keith is on the speedway, 29.325 for lap 1. He was 18th quick. Matthew Fritz, your regular season champion, just went 6th quick on lap 1, just outside that 28-second lap range. He's got a chance here to go to the top. Out of turn 4 comes Matthew Fritz, and Fritz, 29.210, slightly slower on lap 2. He'll stay 7th quick. Warren Keith improved drastically on lap 2, 29.034 to go 4th quick out of 22 qualifiers. 3 guys yet to get on the speedway, and at this point, no reason to, as they just wouldn't have enough time. That being Lauren Vincent, Ian Davis, AJ Evangelista, to elect not to take a qualifying time, and 25 drivers set to grid. We got a good field tonight. Sometimes after a little break and, you know, you got people a little salty. They didn't make the playoffs maybe. They decide to stop coming out, but not the case here in the SCSRA Frye Disposal ARCA Series. Let's bring you tonight's starting grid as Travis Bennett takes the pole in the 01. Holden Wheeler in the 09 is second. Garrett Walden in the 43 will start third. Warren Keith in the 9 will roll off fourth. Jay Stinson in the 31 in fifth. Chase Greer in the 40 will start sixth. Matthew Fritz in that 67 will roll off seventh. Justin Parham in eighth. Kenneth Redinger in the 99 will start ninth. And Matt Bayens in the 72 will start 10th. Jesse?
Vince Brenda is going to be your first driver outside of the top 10 and is number 92. Sharon Hill takes a 12th starting spot. Nicholas Walthorn, P13. Ryan Hufford in the 83, P14. Devin Zimmerman, your regular season champion, P15. Ryan Gomes is going to be P16. Michael Lepicki, 17th. Philip Ellis in 18th. Brandon Anderson in 19th. Josh Hall in 20th. Charles Balance, your first guy outside of the 29-second bracket, in 21st. Derek Da Silva in 22nd. And rounding out your field, 3 drivers that did not take a time: AJ Evangelista, Lauren Vincent, and Ian Davis, rounding out your field in 23rd, 24th, and 25th, respectively.
Right on. Nice work there, Jesse. We're getting set to go green here. And before they start going, let's talk quickly about Matthew Fritz, regular season champion here tonight. Congrats to him. Jesse, do you feel like there's any added layer of pressure to follow up that regular season championship with the overall championship, as you've been there once before yourself?
Hey, look, I will say, first of all, that's my second goof of the night. I accidentally said that Zimmerman was the regular season champion.
Yeah,
My
that's
bad.
all right. We're getting back into it.
Second of all, yes, there is an added pressure for sure. We were talking about this pre-race last season. I was fortunate enough to win the regular season championship in the Cup Series, and then I was able to win the final race and capture the championship for the overall season. And going into this season, now that I was able to get my second regular season title, there's that added pressure in my head of I have to make this look legit. So yes, coming from my perspective, yes, there is that added pressure for sure.
Appreciate you giving us some insight into that. Nobody better to talk to than someone who's experienced that exact thing. Meanwhile, the lights on the iRacing.com pace car are already turned off, which means one parade lap here. We're going to go to the starter camp, and Jesse will bring us to green for the first time tonight at Darlington Raceway.
And the iRacing pace car is going down pit road. We're about to enter the restart zone. The initial start is going to be on the flagman as soon as he waves it. Green flag is out. Cars are getting up to speed. And we are 2 by 2 going down the front stretch, entering a tight turn 1. It looks like they're keeping it clean for the most part. They kind of settled in. A lot of 2 by 2 even off the corner, as looks like we got a few guys scrubbing the wall coming off of turn 2. But the 01 of Travis Bennett is able to hold the lead temporarily. He's in a tough spot right now as Holden Wheeler gets a massive run off of turn 2. Wow.
Holden Wheeler already to the front by what seems like a mile here on just lap 2. Shot out of an absolute cannon as everyone behind him starts to settle in single file here.
Yeah, and this is one of those types of tracks you're going to see a lot of single file racing. There's a lot of lanes to choose from through turns 3 and 4. Not so much in 1 and 2. There's going to be a lot of give and take, hopefully, going into turn 1 and try to settle in single file and focus on a run to get down into turn 3. But, as I say that, we got the 31 of Jay Stinson trying to make a pass in the middle of 1 and 2, and he ends up losing a lot of momentum, and that is not what you want.
Yeah, he pulled side by side there with the 43 of Walden. I went to that because I thought he was going to be able to make that pass. Had to back out of it there on entry. We saw right away what you've been talking about, Jesse, and a lot of single file here early. Got to look really hard to try to find a side-by-side race here on lap 4.
Yeah, and that's just the nature of this track. It's so hard to run side-by-side through turns 1 and 2. The entry and the exit of that turn are so tight. So you really have to try to settle in line. And it's a lot easier said than done, but man, it's a really tough track just to stay side by side and have a good battle with somebody.
Yeah.
But it's fun whenever you can do it.
Yeah, hey, well said there. And you see now Lauren Vincent was side by side with Ryan Gomes just moments ago. Ryan Gomes ended up losing 2 spots, one to Vincent and one to Justin Parham. Then the 07 dropped down, and Parham able to go around him on the outside, allowing Gomes to now work back to the outside on Vincent.
Man, this is where choosing those lines, it looks like Lauren Vincent is trying to keep it pinned really low through turns 1 and 2, and he's losing a lot of momentum down the backstretch. And once you lose that momentum, it's hard to get it back.
Yeah, I mean, he went by Gomes pretty easily there, it seemed like, on the outside, then quickly dropped down to the lower side. Maybe it's just a comfortability thing. Could be a tire thing. I mean, I don't want to speculate too much on anything that's going on with these drivers right now, considering we're still just underway here. But a lot of moving and shaking early, even though for the most part, a lot of single file as well.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot that you can do at this track. Like, whenever you can save the tires, somehow find a way to save the tires, you know, you can make up a lot of ground during a run. But it's just as easy to lose all of that ground as we got Devin Zimmerman trying to make a pass on the inside of the 54 of Wallthorn.
Yeah, and
it looks like he
oh,
actually...
look out!
Oh, man! Looked like he tried to fill a hole that wasn't there. I don't know if that caution's going to come out because it's off of the racing surface. iRacing has a very generous racing surface caution detection at this track.
I'll tell you what, that was some amazing driving there by the 49 of Brandon Anderson. You look at that Chevy Camaro, and there's not one bit of damage. It wouldn't appear on that 49, maybe just a little bit on that left side bumper, but overall pretty darn good for the 49 to come out of that the way he did.
Yeah, no joke. I mean, that's a really hard thing to do whenever you're completely out of control and still finding a way to gain some control. And he did a really good job, although his tires are going to be shot. He did a really good job of maintaining composure and just gathering the car back and doing what he could.
Absolutely. We got some good movers here so far, Jesse. The 46 of Michael Lipicki on our screen, he's up 3 spots currently, and further up a little bit in 8th right now, there's the 05 of Sharn Hill. He's up 4, not to be confused with our leader, the 09 Holden Wheeler. Almost the exact same paint scheme on those 2 cars, but both doing well. And then further back in the pack, I mean, it's working, whatever he was doing, right? Lauren Vincent, he's up 5, so he is your biggest mover. He's up 19, or to 19th, I should say. Kind of in no man's land, cruising along all by himself right now.
Yeah, and Lauren Vincent, he was one of the guys that chose to not take a qualifying lap, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, for him to already being able to make up a few spots, it says a lot about what he's doing right now. Ooh, and it gets tight off of turn 2. Vince Brent just washes a little tight, makes some contact with a 40 of Chase Greer, and that did not look fun.
No, he kind of
looks like he washes tight again.
Yeah, you kind of sandwiched Greer up into the wall. Of course, Greer was already all the way up there, so I think he would have hit the wall anyways, and may have been more of Greer hitting the wall and coming down into Vince, but nevertheless, both of them keep it straight. It allowed Matt Baines in the 72 to capitalize and get past the 92 of Vince Brent. A couple guys here up inside the top 10 that haven't gained any spots but haven't dropped any. Jay Stinson in that Wrangler 31, he's right where he started, there in 5th place. And then Matthew Fritz still in 7th although Sharn Hill kind of pulling up to that back bumper of the 67 right now.
Yeah, Sharn, I've kept a careful eye on Sharn kind of all season. He used to be one of those types that burnt his tires up real bad early in a run and struggled to find that momentum for a late race run. But I've noticed over the last few months, I don't know what has changed with him, but he's really kind of dialed in that racecraft a little bit. Oh, as we got a change for second place. Warren Kyle Keith makes the move.
Looks like the 01 of Bennett maybe getting just a little bit loose on that top side. Now going maybe, well, at least on entry, he was about half a lane to a full lane down. But Warren Keith now second place, chasing down Holden Wheeler, who has just over a half a second lead, give or take. Back and forth we go, and starting to jumble up here a little bit in the top 5.
Yeah, Holden Wheeler, he's lost roughly about 2/10 a lap to everyone behind him right now at this point of the run, so he's losing ground quick.
Jesse, we're almost to lap 18 here. Are you surprised that we may go a full 20 green flag laps to start this thing without a caution, or do you think everyone's kind of being cautious and just kind of feeling it out right now?
Judging by the fact of how on top of everyone, from P1 all the way to P10, I believe it is within 2 seconds of one another. So, and you spoke too soon. We didn't make it 20
sure
laps.
did. I jinxed it. And it looks like
man.
Garrett I know, I'm good at it. And almost every incident we've had so far, I know this is the first caution, but every incident has been right where I'm at on the camera. So I don't know. People might say after this race, don't show me. Anyway, let's go back, take a look, and see what happened on the Royalty Racing Network instant replay. That's not it.
A little too far back.
Yeah. All right, this is the right one, I think. No.
Oh, looks like 43 Garrett Walden was just trying to check up the corner entry as he kind of goes out of our camera view.
Let's find Walden for one. Jeez. And rewind it just a little bit. We'll play it from there for you.
Yeah, and I mean, you can see right here, the 31 and Jay Stinson, he has a full car length or so on entry. There's a little bit of an argument on the cause of the caution this time. But in my opinion, Garrett Walden, he was just taking a pretty natural line entry. He was a full car length entering the corner, and then Jay kind of smoked it into the corner a little bit and got into his left rear. That's my assessment of it, at least.
Yeah, I would agree. Looks like Matthew Fritz in the 67, just a little bit of damage, probably hard on the brakes, trying to avoid getting even more involved. Chase Greer going to have just a small amount of damage. Let's go back live now, as we did have some takers on pit road here, Jesse. Of course, I think we would expect Walden to be down. But Josh Hall was down, Vince Brent, Matthew Fritz, Brandon Anderson. Matthew Fritz, that's kind of shocking to me, is now going to restart near 20th on the field. Are you surprised to see that with 14 laps to go here before we have the stage?
Well, both of the guys that we talked to pre-race were talking heavily on consistency tonight and earning points going into Talladega. So, knowing that these guys in front of them are going to have 19 green flag laps on their tires, and that's a lot here at Darlington. if these guys play it smart, I don't think that they were, going to be making up a ton of spots. Or I don't think they're going to be challenging for the stage win. But these guys do have a chance. You still have 13 laps to go until the stage finish. So with fresh tires, they have a chance of making up some spots that they might not have gotten without taking tires.
Yeah, that's a good point. And it's also an opportunity maybe for some of those guys that pit that were already near the back, but maybe felt like they found some speed. Good time to pit and maybe flip that stage, right? After the stage, you come out top 10, but we'll see. Holden Wheeler, Warren Keith lead us back to green.
And the iRacing pace car is down on the pit road at this point. Holden Wheeler is your control car on this restart. Green flag is out. Holden Wheeler gets one heck of a jump. Not quite as good as I thought he did. He must have spun the tires. But he does get the position. He slots up in front of Warren Kyle Keith. But remember, he was losing a lot of speed towards the end of that run. So here comes Warren Kyle Keith trying to make a move down to the inside. Let's see who prevails coming off of turn 4.
This is going to get interesting now after a restart to really manage those tires, see where you're at, right? You saw there Warren Keith, he got to the inside of the 09, but then he had to back out of it. That allowed the 09 to really pull away on that top side.
Absolutely, but those first couple laps after you cool the tires off that much, it really evens the playing field. But he's not going to be able to hide for much longer than 3 or 4 laps. So I'm going to be paying really close attention as Warren Kyle Keith actually does make a move down to the inside, as we got Vince Brent in the background wrecking with a bunch of damage.
Heavy damage to a lot of cars on this one, and my goodness, gonna be.
And Derek De Silva, he already claimed this caution immediately before it was even asked. He said, "That's on me."
Let's go back and take a look at it here, see just what happened.
Well, yeah, I would have to agree. Derek De Silva running top of 3 wide, catches the wall, bounces off of it, and nowhere for, let's see.
Brandon, who you looking for? The
Charles Balance, 41.
Yep, Chucky Balance. Yep.
Yep, he nothing he could have done differently there. He gave plenty of room. In my opinion, the 92 of Vince Brent, he gave plenty of room. Just nothing more they really could have done there, except for hope and pray that De Silva doesn't catch the wall and bounce down.
Yeah, that's right. And bigger story, perhaps, Vince Brent, Brandon Anderson, both playoff drivers in before lap 30 to use their fast repair, and that is going to add to the already high pressure here and high stakes for the remainder of this race. Both Vince Brent, Brandon Anderson going to be starting near the back. And in fact, you know what? I just thought about this, Jesse. If Brandon Anderson took his fast repair under that last caution, due to that incident that didn't bring out a caution, because he did have some damage there on that front bumper, that might spell the end of the night for Brandon Anderson here, as he's still down pit road with already over a minute, approaching 2 minutes now down pit road for the 49, and that is not good.
That's detrimental, especially heading into Talladega next week. That is detrimental. That means for sure at this point he's not going to get any stage points. He's a lap down, and Man, it's just he's right there. Let's see, where is he in the Brandon Anderson? He's only 4 points above the cut line right now.
Yeah.
That's
And
not a lot.
No, and everyone's close, right? I mean, it's race 1, right? We'll definitely have a better look at everything going into Talladega to be able to say, oh man, this guy's 4 points up, because the highest it goes right now is Warren Keith. He's 12 points up due to the playoff points, right? But I mean, 12 points. I mean, you could finish 15th here and then find yourself outside the cut line coming into next week.
And quick point before we go back green, you heard it with Vince Brent earlier. He got a 5-point penalty in the playoffs last year and missed the championship round by 5 points.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anything could absolutely kill you. Of course, a penalty is one of those things you want to avoid altogether, but
Right. And the pace car is down on pit road. Warren Kyle Keith is the control car this time as he gets a fantastic launch off of the high side. Diving off into turn 1. No competition. We got Travis Bennett who settles in P2. Remember, he was very loose looking earlier. We're only going to have 6 laps until the stage break. And look at some of these guys. Garrett Walden, he's already climbed his way outside of the top 20. He's in P13 right now on those fresh tires.
yeah, Walden, one of those guys to pit under the first caution, and who knows, he could make a couple moves here. Of course, it's a little bit tighter track than other places where you can go flying by 2 or 3 guys at one time. Hard contact there for the 92. Once again, who we just saw have to use this fast repair, so gotta hope he's begging and praying he doesn't end up getting a meatball flag just from bouncing off the wall. That wouldn't be good.
You're not lying there. It's this is a really difficult track to manage whenever you have perfect conditions, much less whenever you have a little bit of aero damage. Look at who sneaked up
100%.
into the top 5 right now, too. We got the 05 of Sharn Hill.
Yeah, Sharn Hill.
He's up 7 spots.
Yeah, he's cruising. Kenneth Redinger doing really well. Michael Lepicki currently our biggest mover. He's got himself up into 9th. And how big, Jesse, would some stage points be for Michael Lepicki to really come out here, set the tone, and prove, hey, you know what? I won my race at a super speedway. I locked in at a super speedway. Guess what? I'm for real.
Man, you know, it's already hard to lock yourself in, much less at a super speedway, going into a super speedway. As we got Garrett Walden spinning down towards the inside, I'm not quite sure what happened there, but that loses all momentum for what he was building. But, yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, you already have the confidence of getting a win like that earlier in the season, so you know that you can. But we all know how difficult it is in general.
100%. I mean, Michael's had a good season. You know, he's followed it up with some other good races, but really good chance for him to show, hey, I'm up 8 at Darlington for the stage, you know, working out. It looked like this battle was going to turn into something here late, Jesse. Justin being stalked by Sharn Hill, Matt Bayens right there on the back bumper, since sorted it out. Back behind him, though, Ryan Hufford in that 83 just got squirrely. That allowed Lepicki to go up to 8th now. Matthew Fritz moves into 9th. Ryan Hufford still holding on to that final stage point as Warren Keith comes off exit at turn 4 and will take the stage win here in a wild and crazy first stage. We got the first 18 laps all green, and then I put the old jinx on it, and we had 2 cautions through to lap 35, but good momentum for the 9 of Warren Keith out here at Darlington.
Yeah, not only is it momentum for tonight, he gets 10 points. He's got another bonus point going into next week, or going into the next round if he's able to make it. So, I mean, that's a lot of positives coming out of one stage win, especially with there only being 2 races per round.
Yeah, and we're going to let these guys pit, but your top 10 for the stage looks like this. Warren Keith in first, Travis Bennett, Kenneth Redinger, Justin Parham, Sharon Hill rounds out your top 5. Matt Baines, Nicholas Walthorn, Michael Lepicki, Matthew Fritz, Devin Zimmerman squeaks in and gets himself a stage point. Those are your top 10 for the stage break, and we are going to get ready to get a quick word, very quick word, with stage winner Warren Keith. As soon as he comes off pit road, we're going to snag him.
I gotta say, that was an impressive stage win.
It was impressive. The 09 of Wheeler led almost every lap, and he might have led them all if that first caution didn't come out. Let's get now with the number 9 of Warren Keith. Warren, welcome to the broadcast booth. Showed an impressive stage win there. Congrats on that. Tell us overall how the car's feeling, and ultimately how it was feeling there when you ended up having a battle for that first place position coming down the stretch.
Yeah, stage was good. I'm glad we got stage points. You know, trying to build every little point we can if we don't win this race, so we don't have to worry about Talladega. But yeah, car's great. Just leaning a bit tight, so trying every which way I can to try to loosen her up. So we'll see what we can do here. You know, it's going to be a long race at the end here. Tires going to be a lot, so we'll just have to baby it and see how it goes.
Right on, Warren. Well, keep up the good work, and best of luck to you the rest of the way. Lights are already off on the pace car, so we'll let you focus back in, and we'll talk to you later.
10-4. Thank you, guys.
Once again, folks, that was your stage winner in the number 9 Royalty Motorsports Red Bull Ford Mustang this evening, Warren Keith. And Jesse, now a little bit different for Warren. He gets to lead the way here on the restart after the stage. Got Kenneth Redinger in the 99, so all full of 9s here for the front row.
Yeah, and Warren won't have to worry about the 01 of Travis Bennett breathing down his neck, as he got a speeding penalty under that round of pit stops either. So, hey, let's see what he's able to do with without the 09 or the 01 around him. As the pace car dips onto pit road, we're getting ready to come back green for stage number 2, the final stage, the stage. We're green. And Warren gets a really good jump. He has been the only one tonight so far to lead the field to green and really get a massive jump on the field. As we got the 19 of Justin Parham. Good Lord, he gets sideways. We could read his door numbers from the front stretch grandstands.
Man, I have no idea how he saved that. I was just about to call out how great a start the 19 had as well, as he did temporarily get around the 99 of Kenneth Redinger. However, the 19 saved that. That was incredible driving, so he'll settle back in, not even losing that much momentum as he settles in behind Sharon Hill in the 05. Sharon Hill now up 9 spots as he gained even more on the pit stop, so doing a heck of a job here so far is the 05 of Hill.
Yeah, Sharon Hill, like I was saying earlier, he's really impressed me over the last month or so. His racecraft is starting to get fine-tuned, and he's starting to run better. I don't think his race results are really showing it, but he's really kind of turning up the wick in terms of raw pace in both short and long run. So it's fun to watch whenever drivers develop like that.
It is really fun to watch. I've had a lot of time to spend with Shawn Hill, talk to him a little bit more than some other drivers, and it's been really cool to see his progression. This is a paint we're taking a look at now that I wanted to shout out. Josh Hall having himself a quiet but solid night so far as he sits 14th, currently battling with Jay Stinson at 31, but that 81 Valvoline ride is a really nice looking paint job there.
Yeah, that's definitely one of my favorites of the night. It's that's just a classic paint scheme. He did a really good job with it. If he's the one that did it, whoever did it did a really good job with the paint, and it looks really good. I'm enjoying seeing that one on track.
There's some really nice ones out here, and Michael Lepicki now was side-by-side with Nick Walthorn, who now finds himself in 6th place. Haven't said much about Nick yet in that Rowdy Energy Chevy Camaro, but he's moving steadily up through the field as he's now up 7 into 6th. Michael Lepicki got a stage point, going backwards just a little bit on the inside to early on to start this second stage.
Yeah, and I'm so sorry to everybody. We completely missed the lead change. We got Warren Kyle Keith, who's fallen down to 4th place right now. Kenneth Redinger is in the lead, and Shawn Hill is chasing him down. So I'm sorry, we completely missed that, but this is interesting. I wonder if he's doing some saving right now.
Yeah, he might. I don't know. It might have been a situation just like with Parham, right? Well, where he just gets loose and had to save the car, back out of it, and lost a few positions. Because, I mean, we're pretty darn good about watching all the battles, bouncing around. We've been doing it all night. And, I mean, that happened in an absolute flash for him to go from 1st to 4th.
Oh, absolutely. Oh yeah, just going back to look, he's in major save mode right now. Yeah, it doesn't sound like he's clutching or anything, but he let off. He let the 99 of Redinger by, and didn't give him much of a battle at all. So it did happen quick, but there was no flashiness to it.
It's fair. Thanks for taking a look at that for us. Now we're taking a look here at the 83 of Ryan Hufford, and imagine that. He's right next to his teammate, the 54 of Nick Walthorn. These guys, every single race, seem to find each other one way or another. They're both having amazing nights. 7 positions up on the night for each of them, both sitting in the top 10 right now. I know Nicholas Walthorn really bummed that he wasn't able to close the deal on making playoffs, but he is a contender every single week. If he could just have, 1, a little bit more good luck on his side, and 2, just put a full race together, we'd start seeing that 54 and 83 contend every single week, I think, Jesse.
As he gets into the wall on the 67, Matthew Fritz
another
catches him on the exit. Oh, good Lord. It looked to me like he just kind of sailed it off into the corner, and I don't think Fritz had anywhere to go. He was kind of committed to the line and didn't really have anywhere to go.
Yeah, it's easy
and
to do at this
a whole
speedway.
slew of spots.
Yeah, and he might lose more as now he's got the 43 of Garrett Walden, and he's up against the wall again on that high side. It is extremely challenging here. Like you said a couple times, it's very narrow, and I mean, it's a hard enough track while you're single file to stay out of that top side wall, but makes it even more challenging if you're side by side with somebody to give them enough room and them to give you enough room to keep it out of the wall.
Absolutely. And I mean, in turn 3 and 4, I've said this multiple times tonight, you have more grooves to work with. You can go pretty much from what they consider the apron all the way up to the wall. But even then, there is a preferred groove. And typically at this track, it's not the bottom side, unless you're hard saving, trying to save the right front tire. And, you know, whenever you're stuck right behind somebody, it's very easy to just follow them and kind of do what they're doing. So, even if the track is a little bit wider, it's so easy at this track, especially at this track, to just follow somebody right into a mistake that they made.
Oh yeah, definitely. Vince Brent is on the come up here. He's back into the position he started in 11th place in that 92, and look out if he gets some momentum going and gets back to the front. I know he's going to want to. He didn't get stage points wrapped up in that early incident. So Vince Brent in the 92 on the move right now. Warren Keith back to 5th. I was watching this. Doesn't look like he has any damage, so I do think it is what you just said a few laps ago, Jesse, that he's just saving tires. Perfectly content now with running 5th for right now.
Yeah, and I mean, that is a big-time strategy. As you were just now complimenting Vince Brent, he catches the wall off the exit of turn 4. Oh, man, that dude he is determined. But he makes a pass on the outside in turn 1. But, yeah, like you were saying, though, like I was saying, it is a strategy here. Saving tires, saving fuel. You can do both, but you sacrifice a lot of speed, especially on the short run. So, wouldn't surprise me at all. Warren is one of those types of drivers. He loves a good strategy race. So, wouldn't surprise me one single bit if that is what's on his mind right now.
Yeah, and if we have some good runs, I mean, I'm really hoping that we continue to. It's going to make things even more interesting down the stretch here. Travis Bennett in that 01, you mentioned to it, he had that speeding penalty. He's up to 13th, but now things getting a little bit more spread out, going to be a little bit harder to pass as this green flag run continues. Wanted to take a look here at that 54 real quick. Alicia in the chat, keep her up there, babe, rooting for Nicholas Walthorn. She's always a huge supporter for him. She always goes into his room there, gives him a real pep talk, as he's on the speedway. So wanted to show him. But Travis Bennett doing work back here, Jesse. He's coming up through the field.
Yeah, he kind of settled back around P15, P16, and just slowly started picking people off one by one. So, I hear somebody talking about potential net code. But we're sitting here watching it, like I said with Warren Kyle Keith, it is a strategy. Sit back and save, and you can make up a lot of time in the long run. And right now, the 2 fastest guys on track are the 9 of Warren Kyle Keith and the 01 of Travis Bennett.
Certainly are. Let's do a little rundown of our playoff drivers here. Check in with all of them here nearly on lap 60. Kenneth Redinger in the 99. He's doing just fine. He leads the way. Sean Hill up 10, your biggest mover right now. He sits in 2nd place here in the 05. Doing a nice job. Got some stage points as well. Then you go to Justin Parham. He is in 3rd in the Bass Pro Shops Gold, number 19. And then Warren Keith, he has since got back up to 4th around the 72 of Matt Baynes. So playoff drivers round all in your top 4 there. Then you have a couple guys looking to perhaps play spoiler. You get back to Matthew Fritz in the 67 running 7th, and your 5th playoff driver Devin Zimmerman in the 36 trying to battle right now with the 36 or the 67 of Zimmerman. That would be for the 7th spot as they're side by side down the front stretch.
Ooh, that was really close coming off of turn 4. Good Lord.
Yeah, really close.
I mean, like, you were given the rundown of the playoff drivers. 8 of the top 10 and 9 of the top 11 are playoff drivers right now. And this is very interesting to watch, but we are at that point of the race where, like I said, stage 2, every spot is only 1 point. Your biggest chance to make up points whenever others can't is the stage. If you didn't get stage points that first stage, it's a lot harder to make up points in the second.
Definitely is. Another good call out, good info there. And we'll keep going through the field of playoff drivers. You see on your screen there in the top 10, Michael Lepicki, Vince Brent. Nice comeback thus far. Vince closing in now on Matthew Fritz and Michael Lepicki. That would potentially get him up into the 8th spot. We'll check in on that battle here in just a little bit. Then you have to go back to Walden. He's 11th. Stinson and Hufford in 13th there and 14th. Then, unfortunately, Jesse, we have Brandon Anderson, who is not on the speedway. He already called it a night, along with what would appear to be 6 or 5 other drivers with Anderson, saying that's enough.
Yeah, I mean, that's unfortunate. Didn't get a chance at stage points. He's not dead last, so that's a plus. So he's going to walk away with a few points, but he's going to be at quite a deficit. Even, I mean, we have a bunch of guys that have been on pit road for quite some time, so it's going to be hard for some of these guys to lose spots throughout the rest of the night. You know, lose enough spots. He's going to be in a major deficit next week.
He definitely is, and going into Talladega, we're going to talk about that a little bit more in the post-race show, but going to be a nail-biter for sure. Is now we see the 92. He might have pushed just a little bit too hard there early in the run to get back up there. He's fell off pretty fast. Dropped 4 spots now in just about 2 laps since we did the driver playoff rundown. And now hopefully the 92 will settle in as he's got some space behind him.
Yeah, I mean, you saw it on screen about 3 or 4 laps in a row, just catching the wall really hard off of turn 2. And I mean, he alluded to it in his interview pre-race. It's all about trying to minimize mistakes. And, you know, the first incident wasn't necessarily a mistake of his, except for maybe he didn't need to pit and kind of put himself at a little bit of a deficit. But I could see why you would want to go off schedule of some of the people in front of you. But, you know, even then, just one of those situations of wrong place, wrong time, and then compounding some mistakes throughout the course of the rest of the race. And now he's on the outside looking in, essentially. 10th out of 12 playoff drivers.
Yeah, you never know, and Vince wasn't in a terrible spot coming into tonight, right? And, of course, we all know what he can do. It's still a ton of race to go as he's back there in 13th. But we just saw Garrett Walden just moments ago Justin Parham, I'm sorry, in the gold 19 as he does it again. Slapping that wall. He lost a few positions that last time. Allowed Warren Keith to get by, Matt Baines, Devin Zimmerman, and Nick Walthorn just outside the top 5. And now Garrett Walden got back around him, who we saw struggling early in the stage. A lot of guys now late in this green flag run starting to bounce off that wall with some fairly hard impact there, Jesse.
Yeah, and I mean, keep this in mind. Remember whenever we were talking to Warren Kyle Keith a little bit earlier in the race after he won the stage, what was the one thing that he talked about with how the car was handling? It was tight.
Yep.
So these drivers are dealing with a tight condition. This is a fixed setup. Every driver is running the same exact setup.
Whoa, look
essentially the same car. Ooh. Wow, they kept it. They kept it together. Now that messes up Parham a good bit, but they kept it together. But yeah, I mean, the car is tight, and as the track gets cooler, oddly enough, the car is faster, the track gets tighter, There's more grip. It's easier to get into the wall because you have that false sense of security trying to carry more speed.
Yeah, and Matt Baines struggling with that 72 right now. Got into Devin Zimmerman just a little bit, but they both kept it straight. Matthew Baines had to back way off, and now here he comes down pit road, I believe, as seems like that's where he's going awfully quick. Hopefully he got that 72 slowed down in time, but he decided after that incident, you know what, it's time to come down for some freshies and get some new shoes on that thing. And here's the battle for second place is Warren Keith now. We saw him saving. You mentioned it first, Jesse. And now he's right back up into second place. Of course, he's got 2.5 seconds or more to get to Kenneth Redinger here. Is just absolutely checked out right now.
Yeah, and I've been watching timing and scoring. Warren Kyle Keith, whenever he was in P5, he was over 4 seconds behind, so he's made up nearly 2 full seconds, and he's closing in about 2/10 a lap. So, he's one of those guys, like I said earlier, he loves a strategy race. So if he can, kind of settle in and keep on doing what he's doing, he's got a real shot at not only catching Redinger for this run, but putting together something even more for the run following the pit stops.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, and we saw our first green flag pit stop, which was Matt Baines, of course. Jay Stinson now finds himself up into the top 10, and when we were talking and going through the run-through of the playoff drivers, he was outside of the top 10, but he's got that Wrangler 31 into 8th place now. Still trying to work back just a little bit from where he started, but quality run here for Stinson so far, and hoping to keep that up. Starting to get a little stretched out as Devin Zimmerman flying by the 05 of Sharn Hill. Just as I noticed it, that was for the 3rd position. And Jesse, Devin Zimmerman is on absolute rails right now, up 12 spots right now.
Yeah, and Warren Kyle Keith, he started making up some spots, but Devin Zimmerman, I've been watching, he's steadily closing in. Just 5 laps ago, another one of those guys over 4 seconds behind. Now he's only 3.5. So that's one to watch, especially on the long run. He told us earlier he didn't have too much confidence with this track, and he's showing us right now the complete opposite.
Yeah, he's doing a great job, and if you're the 99 of Kenneth Redinger and you're in the seat here watching those times or being communicated that those times are getting closer as far as Warren Keith, Devin Zimmerman go, how long do you stay out there, drag this out without trying to pit and give up too much time? It is a very, very fine line.
Yeah, and I mean, the difference between clean air and dirty air as well. I mean, you got to think about it like this. If he comes in and pits, he's got fresh tires. He gets the clean air as soon as he comes off a pit road. But if he waits, here we go. Here's our answer.
That answers that.
Yeah, and I mean, here's the thing. If he can get a clean pit entry, clean pit exit, don't get a speeding penalty, nothing like that. If all of that can go well, and Warren Kyle Keith stays out on track a few more laps and he's running, a solid 1.5 seconds slower than he was at the beginning of this run compared to what Redinger is going to be able to do whenever he comes out on fresh tires. That's going to be the difference in Warren Kyle Keith possibly coming off a pit road 6+ seconds behind Kenneth Redinger. So this could be a big time play, especially if Redinger can dial it back and save a little bit of tire and just keep those lap times rolling.
Yeah, this could be a turning point in the race for all these drivers. Let's take a quick look at Redinger there. Devin Zimmerman followed Redinger down. Both very good pit stops, standard, business as usual. And now Ryan Gomes, Holden Wheeler, Jay Stinson. Green flag pit stop starting to happen. Warren Keith now, to your point, him as well as Zimmerman and Redinger, they all know, okay, I was gaining XYZ, in time per lap. If I stay out 5 laps longer, then that will give me those fresher tires down the stretch to be able to wrangle them in. However, if Redinger ends up cycling with Zimmerman, since they were basically right next to each other, Warren Keith might end up being a little bit too far back, and the tires may not work out, even out in time, but going to be, only time will tell. It's going to be great. I love these races where we get to see green flag pit stops. Absolutely amazing to see. And now, just as I say that, Warren Keith brings her down pit road. Michael Lepicki, Ryan Hufford also down. That's going to turn over the lead to the 43 Pepsi machine of Garrett Walden right now, and he'll like to lead a lap. As you've mentioned a couple times, Jesse, every point is precious.
Absolutely, and you never know when that one bonus point could come into play. So, man, this is wow. I did not see that happen, but Lauren Vincent is in a bind right now. Good
Lauren
Lord,
Vincent
he's
is
crap
struggling. I saw that he had crashed. I wanted to look at him purely to see if he was going to make it to pit road, and because that could have thrown a wrench in a lot of people's plans if a yellow flag came out there right in the middle of the green flag pit stops. And fortunately for everybody except for Lauren, it doesn't happen. But now Travis Bennett took the lead briefly. He's now in. Garrett Walden, Matthew Fritz, Nick Walthorn now down pit road. Going to turn the lead back to the 99 of Redinger with the 36 of Zimmerman. Just under 2 seconds gap to the 99.
And something crazy that I'm watching right now, Warren Kyle Keith, he is only 3.5 seconds behind. And he is on 5 lap fresher tires. He was starting to catch the 99 of Redinger towards the end of that last run. So Devin Zimmerman, he's on roughly about 8 lap older tires than Redinger. And Warren Kyle Keith has about 5 lap fresher tires than Redinger. So this is going to be a very interesting one to watch from here on out.
Yeah, that's going to be extremely exciting down the stretch. Someone that really benefited here so far is the 72 of Matt Baines. We saw him get in a little bit of trouble. He pit first out of everybody, so he does have older tires, but after it all shakes out, ends up being back in 4th place, just over a second, now down to what basically is 3/10 in front of Sharn-Hill. That happened in a quick hurry, but you know what? If this thing goes 20 more laps green or so, and we get in that range where everyone's feeling like, hey, we should stop for tires here for another 10, 15 laps down the stretch, it could ultimately end up panning out in Baines' favor. We'll have to see.
Yeah, no joke. And I have to apologize once again. I had 2 drivers mixed up. Zimmerman is the one that pitted after Redinger, and both him and Warren Kyle Keith came off pit road at roughly the same gap that they were pre-pit stops. So both of them are on about 5-ish lap fresher tires than Redinger at this point, and they're both making up ground fairly quick.
Yeah, and if you're Redinger, you know what that gap is, of course, and you're out here, you're trying to find that line in between, hey, I'm saving tires here just a bit. It's okay if I fall back to them a little bit, but then also making sure that you can stay in front, right? Ultimately, that's the goal when it all comes down to it. So But for Redinger, the worst thing he could do right now is push it beyond its limits, use those tires. He's already at a disadvantage, like you said. And, I mean, you see them all three in your camera shot there. But we'll see how Redinger handles the slightly older tires, and especially once these guys get closer.
It's almost got me wondering if he had an issue either entering or exiting pit road, maybe overshot his pit box a little bit or something along those lines, because, you know, like I was saying, fresh tires mean roughly about a second and a half per lap. You know, especially whenever we're talking about 40-plus lap old tires. So the fact that he came off a pit road and the green flag cycle went completely through, you know, did he have a problem on pit road that we may not have seen? Because the fact that he was only a little bit over a second ahead of Devin Zimmerman at the start of this run after the pit cycle, that tells me a lot about what happened during Redinger's pit stop.
Yeah, definitely. And big updates for playoff driver, and unfortunately it's not a good one. Vince Brent has called it an evening. His night started off not so good, and it got worse, unfortunately, for the 92 of Vince Brent. And true stand-up guy, one of my favorites here in the SCSRA. He'll have some work to do next week at Talladega, but if anyone can do it, it will be Vince. So better luck next week, Mr. Brent. Nicholas Walthorn now battling with Matthew Fritz. This would be for the 11th position, and kind of widens out just as I switch there, trying to find a battle on the speedway as we have 22 to go. No one's particularly close as of right now. Of course, we are keeping a look at the lead, as now it's 2/10. We'll go up there right now. 2/10 to Warren Keith, Devin Zimmerman, the battle for second.
I'm almost curious if Zimmerman felt like he was kind of setting a pace that he didn't want to set and backed it down just a little bit, because he went from catching Redinger by roughly about 2/10 a lap to now he's fallen into P3 and over almost 2 seconds off the pace, unless he may have caught the wall.
Yeah, it could have been that, or maybe the opposite, right? Redinger saw him getting a little bit too close in the rearview mirror, decided to step on it a little bit more, and then Devin Zimmerman, like you said, saving as well. Warren Keith making his way up. Someone of note here is Travis Bennett, all the way back up into 6th. Not a playoff driver. He's going to work on Walden. That would get him into the top 5, but 19 to go. Anything could happen. A late caution would mix up everything at this point, as now, unfortunately, Matt Baines in that 72, older tires than everybody by a considerable amount, now falls back to 7th with Jay Stinson right on that back bumper.
Yeah, and I mean, Jay Stinson, he's one of those guys. He's kind of had an up and down season, a lot of good runs, a lot of technical difficulties, but he's got a good looking car tonight. Seems like those technical difficulties have kind of been put in the past, temporarily at least, and he's got a solid run going tonight. He's up in P8, really setting up the 72 of Baines. He's kind of had one of those quiet nights, but one of those kind of nights that you really need in the playoffs, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and right now, if it ended the way it is currently, he'd be right at that halfway mark of playoff drivers. He would finish 6th out of the 12 playoff drivers. So by no means a bad situation to be in. Nicholas Walthorn now working on the 40 of Chase Greer, looking to the inside here.
And Chase Greer, he makes a smart decision, in my opinion, to just give up the spot and hopefully live to fight another day later on in the race.
Matt Baines holding his own here against the 31 of Jay Stinson, not giving it up easy. Another battle brewing here between Garrett Walden and Travis Bennett, potentially in a matter of a couple laps. That lead, though, Kenneth Redinger doing a really nice job. Maybe Warren Keith just deciding, hey, it's not time where I need to push it just yet. But they're tallying off quick here. There's now 14 to go as Redinger continues to maintain about a 1.5 lead or thereabouts over Warren Keith.
And I can tell you from personal experience, 15 laps at a place like Darlington is a long time. As Stinson makes the move down to the inside on the exit of turn 2, and Bayens hits the wall really hard. Gets the wall again over here in 3 and 4. But no, this is one of those types of tracks. Like 15 laps is a long time, especially whenever you're talking about tire life. So the fact that Warren Kyle Keith, he's kind of hanging in there right at around the 1.3 to 1.2 bar. You know, that could just be him sitting back trying to save and see if he can mount a run together with about 10 laps to go, maybe 8 laps to go. See if he'll start closing in that distance. But man, there's a lot that can happen in just 12 laps here at a track like Darlington.
There certainly is, and just as you were talking about that, Warren Keith closed about 0.2 off of that gap to Kenneth Redinger, and now approaching a second lead for Redinger to Warren Keith. Devin Zimmerman, I'm not sure what happened. It has to be some sort of damage. He's completely out of the picture now, as now we have a side-by-side battle with Sharn Hill dropping back behind Garrett Walden and back to Travis Bennett. As now Bennett looks to the inside.
And I could have him confused with his teammate in the 09 of Wheeler. Excuse me, God bless. The 09 of Wheeler. But I'm pretty sure Sharn Hill was an early taker on the pit road. He started kind of falling back late run. And so this could just be a testament of really old tires versus old tires.
Yeah, Sharn Hill pit on lap 78. Kenneth Redinger on lap 79. Warren Keith on 83. Zimmerman on 79 as well. Now you got a couple guys here that may squeak in, but maybe just a little too far back. Garrett Walden, Travis Bennett, they pit 1 lap later than Warren Keith. So we'll have to see how that plays down the stretch. That lead now under 0.5 second to Kenneth Redinger for Warren Keith in the 9.
And we saw it earlier with Jay Stinson trying to get by Matt Bayens on roughly about 10 lap fresher tires. About 7 lap fresher tires, if I remember correctly. It's one thing to catch them. It's another thing to pass them.
I was just going to point that out. Warren Keith doing a great job here catching him, but will he have enough now to make a move on that inside lane? Highly doubtful that Redinger just gives him the top side, I wouldn't think.
Yeah, you can see Redinger, he kind of opens up his corner entry just a little bit. Warren Kyle Keith tries to move a little bit lower, get a little bit of fresh air on his nose, but Redinger, he's playing it really smart. He's taking Warren's preferred line away just enough to affect what Warren is able to do mid-corner and off.
Warren taps the wall there just a little bit, and if things weren't interesting enough, they got a maneuver around the 09 of Holden Wheeler, who just pulls out of the way and said, go right ahead, boys. I'm not in this fight. And so they get around that lap car easily, but that little wall tap did give Redinger just a little bit of a gap as we now approach 5 to go in a 1 caution race. 2 cautions if you count the stage, but very, very high quality race here tonight at Darlington by all these guys.
Yeah, and you can see Warren, he's starting to kind of experiment a little bit with different lines. He ran about a lane or so off of the wall in 3 and 4. Got a big time run into 1 and 2. We'll see what Redinger does to kind of combat that as he goes a little bit higher up on the track than he did the previous few times. And Warren is right there on his bumper. Redinger doesn't fight him near as bad. I figured he would throw a block. But here he goes. Redinger, he holds the high side. Let's see if he can hold position coming off the corner. As Warren actually slides up a little bit, makes some contact, and then gets loose coming off of turn 2.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you were just talking about. You can get to him, but can you pass him? If Redinger holds that top line, I have to believe he feels pretty darn good about fighting off Warren Keith. Now Warren taps the wall again. Surprisingly, doesn't seem to kill his momentum all that bad, as Redinger looked like for a second, looked to be willing to give him the top side until Warren tapped the wall.
Yeah, and it's so hard to predict what the guy behind you is going to be doing. And so it seems to me like Warren can get a better run on the inside, at least on entry and on through the center of the corner, but it's hard for him to keep up whenever they get off the corner. So he started trying to set up the outside a little bit and focus on some momentum going into turn 1. But it seems to me like he's trying to set up a move to get to the outside so that he has the outside line entering turn 1 instead of trying to make the pass down on the inside.
I would say that's exactly right, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. Kenneth Redinger needs to keep it off the wall as we are now 1 lap to go. This race is official. No more cautions, no green-white checkers. The back bumper of Warren Keith right up on that 99. As they hit the backstretch, the 99 smacks the wall, going to give the opportunity to the 9. They're Goodyear to Goodyear into turn 3, and the 99 bumps him just a little bit, and here they come down the front stretch to the start-finish line. The number 9, he's going to take it by a bumper over the 99 of Kenneth Redinger. Holy smokes, what a first race of the playoffs.
I told you I felt good if he could make it to the outside, but good Lord, I didn't think that's how he was going to make it to the outside. What a race to the start and finish line, and a lot of respect to Redinger. He did make a little bit of contact, but didn't try to wreck him. Just took what he could, and it just wasn't quite enough.
I mean, man, you can't ask for a better overall race, right? 1 caution, the stage caution, and then an absolute barn burner of a finish coming down to literally the last turn, last lap, and, you know, feel for Redinger. He made just a little bit of a mistake there, tapping the wall and or hitting the wall. He didn't tap it, but Warren Keith had to be just waiting to pounce. He did just that. Let's take a look here at our final race results on the evening. Warren Keith comes back, gets the win, locks in to the second round. He's on easy street for Talladega next week. Kenneth Redinger, another awesome run. He's in good spot after tonight. He finishes second. Devin Zimmerman finishes third. Garrett Walden in fourth. Travis Bennett rounds out your top 5. Jay Stinson finishes in 6th. Sharn Hill in 7th. Matt Baines in 8th. Justin Parham in 9th. And rounding out your top 10 is Matthew Fritz.
And the first driver outside of the top 10 is the 54 of Nicholas Walthorn. Chase Greer in 12th. Michael Lepicki in 13th. Ryan Hufford, the last person on the lead lap, in 14th. Starting your lap down cars is the 55 of Ryan Gomes. Holden Wheeler 2 laps down in P16. Josh Hall, unfortunate way of ending the night, 6 laps down, 17th. And starting your DNFs on the night, we have the 07 Lauren Vincent in 18th, Vince Brent in 19th, Derek Da Silva in 20th, Ian Davis in 21st, Chucky Balance in 22nd, Brandon Anderson, last of your playoff drivers, unfortunately, on the night in P23, Philip Ellis in P24, and AJ Evangelista does not look like he even made the start tonight in P25.
Appreciate that there, Jesse. And we're going to take that off. We're going to bring up the playoff driver standings as they were before this race began. And Warren Keith locked himself in once again, so he will stay at the top. Matthew Fritz in 10th had a pretty nice run there. Anderson, that's going to be significant for Anderson. He's going to have some work to do coming in next week to Talladega. We'll talk about that a little bit later here in the post-race show. Michael Lepicki, Justin Parham, Jay Stinson, all good runs. Vince Brent, another one, came in 7th, and he will have some work to do as well. Garrett Walden finished 4th, so he will have a little bit of breathing room as he found himself right on that cut line. Sharn Hill, a top 10, very well. Kenneth Redinger will be above that cut line as well. Ryan Hufford had a great night most of the night. Unfortunately, as it seems to happen so many times with Hufford Racing, is just the closeout seems to impact them down the stretch drastically. He finished 14th on the evening, right where he started actually. And then Devin Zimmerman with a 3rd place finish. So going to be a lot of shaking up of these playoff standings when we come into Talladega next Tuesday evening. But let's get now. Well, you know what? No one appears to be ready. So we're going to step away for a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with post-race interviews and the rest of the post-race show. Don't go anywhere. Should be exciting. Stay with us. All right, folks, welcome back. We are going to bring in our interviewees for this evening. Of course, top 3 as always. And let's start it off with the number 36 of Devin Zimmerman. Second time tonight that we're getting a chance to talk to Devin. And Devin, welcome back to the broadcast booth. How you feeling after that one?
I mean, you can't complain. 3rd place, especially a track that I didn't think I would do too well. It didn't start off great, but yeah, we pulled it out.
Yeah, you come in after the race. You were tonight's biggest mover, up 12 spots on the evening. Everything worked out in your favor, and you drove the heck out of the car. Devin, you came into tonight. We talked to you in the pre-race show. 12th on the playoff standings. Of course, all very jumbled up, basically -1 from the cut line. But tonight's third place finish should give you a little bit of breathing room going into to Talladega, and talk to us overall how you're feeling now versus maybe how you were feeling coming into tonight.
Yeah, this definitely gives it a little more comfort feeling. I think I just used them up a little too much to try and maybe go for a win there. I was trying to keep um, was a Warren behind me, and then also try and catch Kenneth, but I think I just used it up a little too much at the end. But no, this sets us up pretty well for Talladega. You know, we can, with not knowing really what can happen, you know, maybe I can actually run my race and not have to force anything and take some risks that I don't really want to. So, you know, there's some breathing room there. That's nice. I did want to say a shout out to Anderson. Um, at the beginning of the race, it was a kind of three-way battle, and he got turned around. It looks like I thought I was clear of the 54, and I drifted up a little bit, and I didn't realize he was kind of running like a half lane off the wall, and just kind of pinballed me into him, and then it ended up turning him. So shout out to Anderson, Brandon Anderson. Just wanted to apologize for that. No hard feelings or anything. It's just I didn't know the 54 was half a lane down, so I was looking back at the replay, and yeah, just racing Dill, um, not being able. I couldn't even see the 54, so um, but yeah, so just wanted to shout out that. But no, for us, it's you know, some breathing room, so we're okay, I think. Hopefully.
Yeah. So you said, you mentioned now next week you can kind of come in, run your race. Talk to us about what that looks like for you now at Talladega, knowing the circumstances, or at least you'll know the circumstances by that point, of course. Is it one of those things where, hey, I'm going to go out there and try to win the thing, or I'm going to try to keep the car in one piece and just bring it home, maybe with a top 10, solidify yourself with one of those playoff spots?
I mean, it's the tank racing guys. We like to get together and kind of draft together because we trust each other, and we know we're not going to try and wreck each other for the win or anything or give bad pushes. So, um, you know, try and get hooked up with them. And normally we like to kind of ride on the back end of the lead pack. Typically, sometimes we'll ride up front just to kind of see how the cars run up front. It just depends on where we qualify. So if we're qualifying up front, we'll try and stay up there. If we're, you know, qualifying like middle of the pack, we'll try and keep up with the front pack and just kind of hang on to the coattails in case any chaos happens. So give us some room so we can dodge it. But yeah, it just depends. Qualifying will be interesting to see kind of what our strategy plays. But just getting hooked up with them is kind of the main thing, so we can you know, run our race together and, you know, give each other pushes, and hopefully get Mike up there. I know he had a rough night tonight, not the best. So kind of getting him some points, that would be good to solidify him into playoffs as well. So that'd be the strategy.
Right on, man. Well, sounds good. And Devin, you squeaked into the playoffs, and not that anyone had any doubt, but you proved tonight with a third place finish that you belong here. So congrats on the podium. And before we let you go, anyone you'd like to thank or shout out this evening?
I appreciate it. Another third place seems to be my finishing spot here lately. So hopefully we can break through something. But yeah, thanks to you guys up in the booth for putting this on. All the fans out there watching, appreciate each and every one of you, no matter who you support. Also, shout out to my tank racing teammates, of course, talking strategy all night, and just trying to work together. Mike and I were kind of beside each other a lot of the beginning part of the race, so trying to work together to figure out how to pass people here. And then just shout out to Dragonbane on the car. Um, Tabletop role playing, and I said it a few times. If you're into that thing, it's really fun. Different system than Dungeons and Dragons, which is kind of gain popularity, and Yeah, just a little bit different system, but still just as fun. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks to Gomes and them for putting this on each and every week. Josh Gomes, Devin Pacino. Uh, yeah, great stuff.
Right on, man. Well, Devin, always a pleasure to talk to you, and I got the chance to do it twice this evening, so that's pretty cool. And we'll see you back out here next week at Talladega.
Yes, sir. Hopefully, we'll get to talk again.
Yeah, there you go. Once again, folks, that was your third place finisher, the number 36 of Devin Zimmerman. And now, Jesse, you are going to have our second place finisher, the number 99 of Kenneth Redinger.
Kenneth Redinger, Jesse up in the booth. You got a copy, man.
Yeah, I got you.
Man, this this has got to be a hard one to swallow. I'll let you take it from here. What was going through your mind in the closing laps?
I knew he was better on the long run. He seemed to be better at saving his tires, and I started struggling real bad in 3 and 4, and that's where he was really beating me bad. So I couldn't get the run down there, and eventually got the nose there a couple times, and then I just kept pushing harder and just getting tighter and more out of the throttle. And eventually, it was just too much. But I mean, all in all, I take a second here. I think that's my best finish here in any of the league races I've ever done here. I usually end up wrecked and finishing in the teens somewhere, so I'll take a second any day.
And if my calculations are correct, you should end up with a decent amount of bonus points from tonight with the with leading the most laps and of course leading a lap. I know that's not everything as we're going into next week. You know, what is your mindset going to be going into next week? I mean, of course, depending on the cut line and everything, you had a really solid night tonight, but talk about next week at Talladega. Where is your head at?
Just go there and race like nothing's, don't even worry where I'm at in the points. Just go there and race because it's really most of that's out of your control anyway. You can try to ride in the back and then work your way up to the front at the end of the race and still get wrecked. So it doesn't matter. Just go out there and race and let the points fall where they fall.
Hey, fair enough. I can respect that mindset. It's hard, from my perspective, racing in these leagues, it's hard to go in there not thinking about the points. But if you can manage to do that, respect to you. But man, I'll let you go tonight. Congratulations on P2. But before I let you go, anybody you would like to thank or shout out?
Yeah, just shout out to the league for putting everything on for us and for us to have a good time on Wednesday and Thursday nights.
All right, man. Well, you have a great rest of your night, and congratulations again on P2. Unfortunate how it happened, but great run tonight.
That's all good. Thanks, Jesse.
All right. Once again, folks, that was your second place finisher, the 99 of Kenneth Redinger. And now the winner again on a tear. Let's get with him, and that is the number 9 of Warren Keith. Warren, welcome to the broadcast booth once again, sir, and second chance I'm getting to talk to you tonight as well as Devin Zimmerman. Warren, talk to us first about the pit strategy that you elected to go with tonight.
Yeah, I was saving a bit earlier in the run, letting off really early. At some points, I was even clutching it. Just trying to get more fuel, longer run. I mean, you can pit whenever realistically, but the better tires, even by 2 laps or so, it makes a huge difference late in the race. So we wanted to get as much of a gap between the leaders as possible. I think we got almost 5 laps on them just by saving. So happy with that. And then finally just saved a bit of tire. It was tough that second run to save tire. The track was just changing up a little bit more tight than it was earlier in the race, just with the track cooling off so much. So yeah, that's just how we did the strategy. Kind of just get as much, get as fresh of tires as we can, as late as we can.
Yeah, and it worked out, obviously. But down the stretch there, last couple laps, really, really tight battle with the 99 of Redinger. it looked like you took a peek a couple times on the inside, maybe just didn't quite have enough there, and you guys kept it really clean. And then, down the stretch, last lap, still has it, has the lead, hits the wall pretty significantly, opened the door for you. If that didn't happen, did you feel like you had one last opportunity, or was it basically, I need the high line to get by this guy or he's going to win?
I know he was developing a really tight situation in 3 and 4. That last 8 or so laps, he was just flying like a rock in the middle, just in the center. He wasn't really losing time center or exit. He was keeping. It was just right in the center. I just don't know if the car wasn't rotating or what for him, because he was keeping the gap almost the whole run with me. So he was doing the same thing I was, saving tire. So I don't know what really materialized on that end, but I was just trying to get to the left rear quarter panel realistically. I did that to Parham earlier in the race, and it got him really, really tight, and we were able to just kind of cut down off of 2 and get alongside. I don't know if it was because of his tightness, you know, getting in the middle of the corner there, 1 and 2. He, tried to brake a little bit earlier or let off to kind of cut down, and I wasn't lifting for it. And yeah, I mean, Rubbin's racing, it's bump and run. Didn't want him to hit the wall though. He clapped it pretty good. He raced me fair at least in 3 and 4. He kind of rubbed up my door, but again, Rubbin's racing. So I'm if it returns a favor, that's fine. I mean, that's racing. But just trying to get to his quarter panel to tighten him up.
Yeah, we didn't on the broadcast here. I don't think Jesse or myself saw any egregious contact or anything like that. He, in fact, didn't even mention any contact when we spoke to him. He just said the car got tight and brought him up into the wall. That's kind of what we were seeing a lot of the night from a lot of the guys. And really impressive race out here, not only from you, but everybody. To just have one caution due to an incident, that is really, really impressive at Darlington, especially with a 24-car field. So now, Warren, let's look ahead a little bit. And, of course, now you're on Easy Street. You're locked in to the round of 8. How does that change what you look to do next week? Is it kind of, hey, now the goal turns from getting me in to let's get some teammates in, or kind of just relaxed and whatever happens, or does it change at all? What's your thoughts on it going into Talladega?
I think your colleague in the booth kind of knows exactly what happens when I go into a super speedway race with really no worries in the world. It's gonna be
Can
fun.
confirm.
Yeah. I get to do what I do best at plate races. I'm gonna try to control the lines, kind of have a good time. Obviously be a little bit more mindful than I usually would be, just because there are a bunch of playoff guys in the field. A couple of them are my teammates. So we'll play it by ear. If we feel like maybe it's time to just back out or help out where we can, we'll do that. But I'm just gonna do what I do at super speedways and just kind of play, as Jesse calls it, play the Logano card, and kind of just race up front all night. Got nothing to lose. Why not do it? Because if we didn't win this race, I would have been definitely riding in the back until about 10 to go.
Fair enough. And you got a couple teammates that had really strong runs tonight to start their playoff hopes as well, or championship hopes, I should say. Garrett Walden, Sharn Hill, both top 10 performances, middle or top half of the pack as far as playoff drivers go. So both of those guys will be looking to get in and keep the run going next week. But Warren, before we let you go pop the champagne in victory lane for the however many times it is this season, let us know who you want to thank or shout out tonight.
Yeah, I'd like to thank guys over at Royalty Motorsports. Great runs by everyone tonight in the playoff wise. Sharn had a great run. Garrett had a great run. So good job going to Talladega. We'll try to capitalize on that. Thank Bass Pro Shop St. Augustine, always being on the car in some capacity. We'll have them back as a primary next week. And just happy to have another Casey Kane throwback in victory lane. I know last season we ran the 05 scheme. This season we're kind of just running just the 9 font, but it's good to have a Casey Kane throwback in victory lane.
Right on, man. Well, Warren, go enjoy this one with your teammates and everything. You guys also leading the team points, and this will go a long way towards that as well. So, a lot to celebrate tonight here after Darlington. And Warren, we'll see you back out here next Tuesday night for Talladega.
We'll see you then.
Once again, folks, that was your winner, the number 9 of Warren Keith with the Casey Kane throwback. And Jesse, let's close out the post-race show here. We're going to talk a little bit about guys that unfortunately didn't have the run that they wanted to. It was going well for Vince. He had speed like he does everywhere, it seems like. Then it kind of just fell off the rails for no reason of his own there, or no cause of his own. There at the beginning, kind of just snowballed. Ryan Hufford came in 11th. He finished 14th on the night, so not a bad finish considering 24 cars, but gonna put himself a little bit behind the 8 ball as far as the playoffs go. And who else here? Obviously, Brandon Anderson, the big one, came in 3rd to tonight and finished 23rd. So what do you think those guys now need to do as far as that focus and that mindset coming into Talladega, knowing everything that Talladega is?
I mean, man, we're going to be talking a lot about points, but Redinger said it best. If you can go in there and not focus on points, just run your race, do what you can, control what you can, because so much is out of your control at a place like Talladega. That's the best mindset to be in. But I'm sure you're a driver as well. You could probably attest to this. It is hard. I mean, even in a regular season race, it is hard to go into a place like Talladega, Daytona, or even Atlanta and not think about points. So if you can get there, that's where you want to be. The best place to be right now is Warren Kyle Keith, because he's going into this race without a care in the world. He gets to go to Talladega and just run his race and not worry about if he gets wrecked. So for these guys that are going into this race, like Vince Brent, or Ryan Hufford, or not Devin Zimmerman, or Brandon Anderson, some of these guys that came into tonight that really had a strong run and just didn't get the finish or didn't get the stage points, they're going to be on the back foot and probably looking at the points.
Yeah, and I mean, the pressure, it's immense pressure regardless, right? Whether it's race 2 of the season and you're trying to have a consistent season, whether you're trying to lock into the playoffs, move on to the second round, whatever the case may be, all of that is amplified at a super speedway. I've been in a situation where a super speedway was the elimination race to even get into the playoffs, and I needed to perform. And I tell you what, that whole time, the preparation, the back and forth of, okay, how do I play this? What do I do? That was amplified. Trying to come out with the strong position, finishing position. Then everything else added into that, right? Going down pit road. Okay, don't get a stupid penalty. Don't make a mistake that's going to cost you a penalty by causing a caution, that type of thing. You have to be nearly perfect when it comes down to these super speedway races, on track, off track, mentally, all of it. You have to put it together. And even though some of these,
too.
Physically, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Physically. It can be a lot. Your hands are going to be sweating. You're going to have to elbow up and really get up on the wheel. And I mean, there are plenty of races that you and I both, being guys that race in full-length races, NIS-type races that are just like what you watch any given Sunday in NASCAR. Physically, you have to be prepared, and you will get done with some of these races, especially a super speedway race, and you are tired mentally and physically. And it's going to be interesting to watch. Even some of these guys like Walden, Stinson, Hill, Parham. Okay, yeah, great. They had a great run tonight, and they're going to see their names in green before we start next week's race. But by no means are they safe. They could have an early situation like Brandon Anderson did tonight and find themselves on the outside looking in extremely quickly with hopes dashed of going to the second round. Now, obviously, I don't hope that happens to anyone, but that is a possibility, and it could come down to something so minuscule as, oh, I got in a wreck, and oh man, now I amplified the issue and compounded the mistake by not checking my fast repair. And now I'm in pit road, done for the evening because I have 40 minutes of damage repairs or something like that. It really is a challenge, and I don't think a lot of people truly understand the pressure and the amount of hard work and effort that goes into it to really get it right, which is why it's so crazy that Warren Keith comes in every single night and really legitimately has an opportunity to get that 9 car up front and win. But going to be a good one. What would you say, one, are your takeaways from this evening? And then two, to follow that up, what would you say into next week is going to be the key if one of these guys wants to rebound from, say, 10th, 11th spot in the playoff standings to really get themselves into the second round?
So, I mean, number one, tonight we kind of saw our typical players come into effect tonight. You got Garrett Walden, Devin Zimmerman, Redinger. We've talked enough about Warren Kyle Keith. He did a great job tonight. Jay Stinson's kind of on a little bit of a bounce back tour. We have a bunch of drivers that came into tonight and they've been performing all season and just, did it again at a track that's really hard to perform at. Number two, for those guys that are trying to bounce back, it's like you said, the mental preparation, the physical preparation. You don't realize how much you work at a track like Talladega until you step into that cockpit and start driving for, an hour and a half, 2 hours at some points. So, it's just going to be all about locking in and minimizing mistakes. Like you said, accidentally not checking the fast repair. If you have a lot of damage, that could even come back and bite you for accidentally having the fast repair checked if you only have 15 seconds worth of damage. But then later on, you get caught up in a wreck that really messes up your car. You accidentally checked it on a wreck where you only had 15 seconds worth of damage. Now you got to sit there for 6 laps just to get it repaired.
Yep.
So there's a lot of mental preparation. A lot of boxes have to be checked, literally and physically, literally and figuratively. Talladega is honestly one of the worst tracks to try and bounce back from, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's a ton of unknown out there. And I mean, that's to a certain point, any situation, any track in racing, but Talladega, as I mentioned before, it amplifies it all. But one thing that we do know is that it's going to be a wild one for sure, and I'm looking forward to it. Probably more than most of these playoff drivers are looking forward to it, besides the winner tonight. But
in the booth, I'm looking forward to it as a driver. Yeah. I am dreading it.
Well, hey, you know what? You got your opportunity to go out there tomorrow night, lock yourself in and then not have to worry about it whatsoever. And
That would be a dream.
yeah, and I don't doubt that can happen. So be sure, everyone, to tune in tomorrow night. Watch Kenneth Redinger, among others, Jesse Whittington, among others, go out there tomorrow night, do it all over again here at Darlington, and see who locks in there. Jesse going for the back-to-back championship crown and season and champion sweep back-to-back. So very interesting stuff there, and best of luck to you tomorrow night, Jesse. Thanks for joining me once again. We're going to close it out here tonight with some sponsor shout-outs, as always. Didn't have a chance to get to them tonight like we normally do, since there was only one caution. But first and foremost, the title sponsor of the SCSRA ARCA Series, Frye Disposal, came on board for the second year here with SCSRA, and hope to have them back next season. Check them out now at frydisposal.com, or give them a call at the number on your screen. Frye Disposal does weekly trash pickup in Smith County, Virginia, and the surrounding areas. Mention this broadcast, you'll get $10 off of your service. I wish I had that on my trash pickup, but whatever. Call or email them for quotes, and they'll get you set up. And Majestic Promotional Branded Apparel, whether you run a company, a government agency, a sports team, or even a virtual race team, turn every item into a statement with Majestic Promotional and Branded Apparel. If you want to get some of their stuff, it's easy. Just click the link in the description of this broadcast. Get yourself some Royalty Racing Network merch, or even Royalty Motorsports merch. And it's all extremely high quality stuff right here in the USA. And finally, SM Racing Products. Take your sim racing experience to the next level with custom-made button boxes, dashboards, flag lights, and more with SM Racing Products. I got myself a custom button box. Changed the game for me, and you can get yours at sm-racingproducts.com. And as always, use promo code ROYALTY at checkout for 20% off of your purchase of $150 or more. We love the guys over at SM Racing Products. But for everyone at the SCSRA and everyone at Royalty Racing Network, Jesse Whittington and myself, Joshua King, I wish you a happy new year, a good night, and we will see you back here same time next week, extended pre-race show for an elimination race, round 1 at Talladega. Do not miss it. Have a good night.